ಇದರ ಮೂವತ್ತ್ಮೂರನೇ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ತೆಗೀರಿ. ಹಾಂ ಇದೆ. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. I will continue with salivary secretion. Actually, you know that my class is not there according to timetable, but Dr. Goharban is on leave, so I am taking her class. Okay. Salivary secretion, it is one of the important topic in GIT. Just I will start first. What about salivary gland and all I will tell. Then I will go for the. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. First I will in detail I will tell about salivary gland and all. Then I will go for the functions. Main important here is salivary secretion composition. They may ask us the composition for 3 marks and the functions of salivary secretion for 3 marks and applied physiology of salivary secretion is 3 marks. Remember that. These questions will come. Long question, it may come or it may not come, but short notes usually come here. So, about salivary secretion, this is the first juice coming in contact with food secreted by salivary glands. So, these glands are located outside the GIT. These glands are located outside the GIT. Secretions are conveyed to mouth by the ducts. In mammals, the male salivary glands are parotid, submaxillary or submandibular, sublingual. Additional glands are lingual, labial, buccal, palatine glands. So it is localized structure. Parotid gland, it is the largest gland, weigh about 20 to 30 gram and is present in the side of the face, below the ear and in front of it. It is the largest gland, weigh about 20 to 30 gram and is present in the side of the face, below the ear and in front of it. Secretions are passed onto the mouth by Stenson's duct, which opens into the oral cavity opposite to the upper second molar teeth. Submandibular gland, it weighs about 8 to 10 gram and is present in the submaxillary triangle on the side of the lower jaw. And the Wharton's duct carries the secretions into the mouth and opens on the summit of the papilla known as canicula sublingualis. Known as, it is not carnicula, sorry, it is a carnicula sublingualis. It is located on the side of the frenulum of the tongue. I know that you know better than me anatomy. Anatomical presentation, where it is located and what are these sides, triangles, ducts. You have all, I think it is started in anatomy?
No, ma'am.
No. Then you will come to know. Whatever it is I am telling now, just you listen. Then we will come to the sublingual gland. It is the smallest of the salivary glands. It is the smallest of the salivary glands. Weight 2 to 3 gram and is present under mucous membrane on the floor of the mouth. Yes. Switch off your mic. And is present under mucous membrane on the floor of the mouth. So the secretions are carried by means of 15 to 20 ducts called ductus revinus, which open through the floor of the mouth. Sometimes the anterior portion of the gland is drained by a single large duct called Bartholin's duct. Sometimes the anterior portion of the gland is drained by a single large duct called Bartholin's duct. About structure, presents a racemose structure which consists of acini and the duct system. Acinus is the secretory unit of the salivary gland and is also known as alveolus. So this acinus consists of, presents a racemose structure which consists of acini and the duct system. Acinus is the secretory unit of the salivary gland and is also known as alveolus. Acinus consists of secretory epithelial cells arranged around the central lumen. The epithelial cells are pyramid shaped. The epithelial cells are pyramid shaped cells resting on a definite basement membrane. So next, between the epithelial cells and the basement membrane, there are special types of cell called basket cell. In last day only, in introduction class, I have told about the basket cells are myoepithelial cells. Between the epithelial cells and the basement membrane, there are special types of cells called basket cells. These are contractile in nature and aid in the expulsion of saliva to the central lumen. Depending on the secretion and histological appearances, there are two types of acini. Depending on the secretion and histological appearances, there are two types of acini. These are number one, serous acini, then mucus acini. So location of salivary gland and their ducts. You can see this diagram just and you refer your book also. So you will remember location of salivary glands and their ducts. This is the racemose pattern of salivary glands. Racemose pattern of salivary glands. Here it is types of acini in a salivary gland. Types of acini in a salivary gland. So we come to the serous acini. Secrete thin watery saliva rich in enzymes. Mucous acini secrete thick viscous saliva rich in mucin content. Normally both serous and mucous acini are present in all the glands, but the proportion varies. In parotid gland, purely serous, occasional mucus. Submaxillary, serous, mucus, ratio is 4:1. Sublingual, serous and mucus ratio is 1:4. Then maxillary and sublingual glands are mixed salivary glands. Sometimes serous acini caps over mucous acini are present. These are crescentic shaped structures are called demilunas. Sometimes serous acini caps over mucous acini are present. These crescentic shaped structures are called demilunas. The secretion of serous demilunas are conveyed to the central lumen by minute channels called canaliculi. The secretion of serous demilunas are conveyed to central lumen by minute channels called canaliculi. So we'll see about the duct system. It is an intercalated ducts drain the acini. These ducts join together and form interlobular ducts. These ducts join together and form interlobular ducts. These ducts open into the oral cavity and so are called excretory ducts. These ducts open into the oral cavity and so are called excretory ducts. Nerve supply to the salivary glands. What nerve supply? Both sympathetic nerve supply to the glands. Sympathetic nerve. Fibers arise from T1 and T4. Fibers arise from T1 and T4 and reach the superior cervical ganglion. So the postganglionic fibers start here and run along the nerve supply to all the glands. They supply to basket cells, blood vessels, acinar cells, and the stimulation of the sympathetic nerve fibers result in increased secretion of thick viscous saliva containing mucus and enzymes. So what is the mechanism? So this sympathetic stimulation and circulating catecholamines stimulates salivary secretion rich in enzymes through both A and B receptors. A sympathetic stimulation and circulating catecholamines stimulates salivary secretion rich in enzymes through both A and B receptors. A receptor activation and consequent release of enzyme secretion is mediated through calcium ions. A receptor activation and consequent release of enzyme secretion is mediated through calcium ions. Beta receptor action is mediated through cyclic AMP. So norepinephrine released brings about vasoconstriction and decreases the blood flow, so water content is less. Norepinephrine released brings about vasoconstriction and decreases the blood flow, so water content is less. The basket cells contract under the influence of norepinephrine and cause expulsion of already secreted saliva from the acinus. The basket cells contract under the influence of norepinephrine and cause expulsion of already secreted saliva from the acinus. Parasympathetic nerve fibers come from a nucleus present at the junction of the medulla and pons. Comes from a nucleus present at the junction of the medulla and pons near the tractus solitarius. So the caudal part called inferior salivary nucleus provides parasympathetic nerve fibers to acinar cells and blood vessels of the parotid gland. The caudal part called inferior salivary nucleus. So this provides parasympathetic nerve fiber to acinar cells and blood vessels of parotid gland. So these fibers pass via glossopharyngeal nerves. The superior part called superior salivary nucleus provides parasympathetic nerve fibers to the acinar cells and the blood vessels of the submaxillary and sublingual glands. The superior part called superior salivary nucleus. This provides parasympathetic nerve fibers to the acinar cells and the blood vessels of the submaxillary and sublingual glands. These fibers pass through the facial nerve and the chorda tympani nerve. Pain afferents from these glands run in the parasympathetic nerves. Stimulation of the parasympathetic nerve fibers results in increased secretion of watery enzyme rich in saliva. Stimulation of the parasympathetic nerve fibers results in increased secretion of watery enzyme rich in saliva. So mechanism: acetylcholine released from the nerve endings directly acts on the acinar cells and stimulate enzyme secretion. The acetylcholine released from the nerve endings directly acts on the acinar cells and stimulate enzyme secretion. So acetylcholine activates kallikrein, which in turn activates kininogen, converting into bradykinin. Acetylcholine activates kallikrein, which in turn activates kininogen, converting into bradykinin. Bradykinin produces vasodilatation and increases the blood flow to the gland. VIP, a co-transmitter released along with acetylcholine, causes vasodilatation. This may also cause vasodilatation. Parotid posterior auricular artery, it is a blood supply. Submaxillary external maxillary artery, sublingual and submental arteries. We'll come to the composition of saliva. Volume 1 to 1.5. That's a 1 bar 24 hours at a rate of 1 ml per minute. The rate of secretion is maximum during meals and minimum during sleep. Contribution. Submaxillary, maxillary 70%, specific gravity 1.3002, parotid 20%, 1.010, sublingual 5%, other 5%, the pH is 5.75 to 7.05. Osmolality, hypotonic to plasma. The constituents: water 99.5, solid 0.5, organic 0.3%, inorganic 0.2%. So we come to the inorganic constituents of saliva. HCO3 derived from blood and from metabolism of acinar cells. It is 5 to 60 milliequivalent per liter. Increase with decrease in the rate of flow of saliva. Exchange with chloride, so inversely related to chloride concentration. Next, chloride concentration 5 to 7 milliequivalent per liter derived from the blood, increases with increase in the blood flow of saliva. Next, like sodium, potassium, calcium, phosphate. Sodium concentration 5 to 100 milliequivalent per liter increases with increase in the flow of saliva. Potassium concentration exceeds that of plasma 8 to 20 milliequivalent per liter derived from blood. So increase with decrease rate of flow of saliva. Calcium concentration 2 to 4 milliequivalent per liter increases with an increase in the flow of saliva. Phosphate concentration is twice that of the plasma, independent of the flow rate. So in inorganic constitution, that is a HCO3, Cl, chloride, sodium, potassium, calcium, phosphate. Organic constituents of saliva. They are salivary enzyme. Salivary enzyme. Ptyalin, it is not a P will silent here, it is a ptyalin or salivary alpha amylase. It acts on starch and converts it into alpha limit dextrins and maltose. Dialing of salivary alpha amylase, it acts on starch and converts it into alpha limit dextrins and maltose. Optimum pH is 6.8 and the enzyme is activated by chloride ions. Next one is lingual lipase produced by Agnus gland present on the dorsum of the tongue and is active in the stomach and can digest as much as 30% of indigested triglycerides. Then we have mucin. It is a glycoprotein produced by the mucosae acini of the salivary glands. It helps in food bolus formation. Then will be lysozymes. These are groups of enzymes which can destroy bacteria present in the mouth. Blood group substances present in secretors in a concentration of 20 to 30 milligram per liter. Kallikrein. It is an enzyme present in the saliva. It acts on A2 alpha 2 globulin to produce bradykinin. It is a polypeptide which causes vasodilatation. Nerve growth factor. A polypeptide produced from the submaxillary salivary gland. It is useful for the growth and maintenance of sympathetic and sensory nerves. Immunoglobulins. IgA helps to fight against bacteria, virus. Xylogastrin. Gastrin-like substance present in saliva. Lactoferrin binds iron and is bacteriostatic. Proline-rich proteins protect tooth enamel and bind toxic tannins. So it is divided into inorganic and organic. Inorganic already I have told. Organic constitution of saliva is salivary enzymes. If you will mention in just subheadings, salivary enzymes, lingual lipase, mucin, lysozymes, blood group substances, kallikrein, nerve growth factor, immunoglobulin, xylogastrin, lactoferrin, proline-rich proteins. Then we will come to the source of various constituents. Salivary secretion involves expenditure of the energy. SNR cells contributes both organic and inorganic ions. Duct cells and centroSNR cells mainly contribute inorganic ions and water. Source of various constituents. Salivary secretion involves expenditure of energy. SNR cell contributes both organic and inorganic ions. Duct cells and centroSNR cells mainly contribute inorganic ions and water. The secretion contributed by SNR cells is known as primary secretion, which is isotonic to the plasma. Which is isotonic to the plasma. The primary secretion is conveyed through ducts. The primary secretion is conveyed through ducts. As it passes through the ducts, there is a change in the composition of the primary secretion giving saliva. This is hypotonic to the plasma. Regulation of salivary secretion. Salivary secretion is exclusively regulated by neural mechanism, which is of two types: spontaneous or reflex secretions. Spontaneous and reflex secretions. This is a diagram. Mechanism of salivary secretion, primary secretion and other: amylase, mucus, extracellular fluid, then sodium, active absorption, chloride, passive absorption, potassium, active secretion, bicarbonate, secretion. Shall I continue on next class, or today only I will finish? Yes. All of you sleeping?
No, ma'am.
You can take now.
Okay, this I will secretion. I will finish this one. Okay, and functions and applied physiology I will take tomorrow with gastric secretion. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Because I will start tomorrow gastric secretion. It is one of the important topic. It will take 2 class for me. In that I will finish these functions and applied physiology. Tomorrow I will take again class at 10 o'clock. So that time I will finish.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Spontaneous salivary secretion. Saliva is secreted continuously, but the rate of salivary secretion is under influence of various conditions that are capable of stimulating or inhibiting the process. The continuous secretion of saliva in the absence of any known stimulus is known as spontaneous salivary secretion or resting secretion. The continuous secretion of saliva in the absence of any known stimulus is known as spontaneous salivary secretion. It is suggested that minute quantities of acetylcholine are released continuously into the gland, which can bring out salivary secretion. However, it cannot be blocked by atropine. Spontaneous salivary secretion can be blocked by metabolic poisons like cyanide. This shows that the spontaneous salivary secretion depends on the metabolic activity of the salivary glands. This secretion keeps the oral cavity always moist. Reflex secretion. This takes place in response to a stimulus. saliva of secreted reflex is in two ways. Two types of reflexes are involved. They are unconditioned reflex and conditioned reflex. I will take tomorrow this conditioned and unconditioned reflex. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
ನಿನ್ನೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು ರೀ ಗರ್ಭಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ನಿನ್ನೆ, ಹಿಂಗಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು.